what kinds of things is everyone using then for today's activity?
So I'm using a range of materials today. I'm kind of going for a bit of a collage look, but sticking with your theme of using different kind of found things and making marks that I wouldn't usually make.
Okay.
I was doing some gold leafing the other day, and I've got bits of gold leaf scattered all over my table. So I've kind of started by putting it on glue and then some ink that I've spread about with an incense stick, which is making some nice smells as well. And the glue and I've put some yellow ink on as well, which I'm squishing about. And I've got this mark in the middle of my paper, which I'm kind of working round, and I'm hoping to get that stenciled in some fashion, but I'm not quite sure what resources I'm going to use for that.
I'm using these pastry cutters as well, and plastic cups as well to make circles and different things. Now that seemed to work really well for me last week, so I'm still kind of playing on that kind of idea of using white paint on top of a coloured background and experimental, that kind of thing. My first piece today, I've done this just using different colours and just being really experimental with the objects that I'm using as well. So here we've got like brush strokes using just ordinary children's paintbrushes. We've got some bath sponges, nail brushes, and a comb as well to make these uniform lines as well. I thought that worked quite well.
I like the bath sponge effects. That's nice.
This is the one that I use as well. Just for Wilco, like £2 as well. So again, not too bad. I quite like using found objects as well, things that you just find around the house, or maybe you find when you're on a walk or something, and just using those as well to make different textures and different marks. So that could work quite well.
So I'm a dreadful one for picking things up when I'm on my walk, sticks and stones and all that, and oh, look at that little piece of stuff. And I'm so delighted that the last few weeks I've been able to pick up my random things and go, oh, but I'm going to use it for some artwork. Like, what are you picking up now?
So for me at the moment, I've been focusing more on like domestic kind of objects, so things that you use in everyday life. So at the moment, I'm using different objects to kind of reflect the idea of working in lockdown, the idea of artists working at home in different spaces. And that at the moment is quite essential to what I'm looking at within my practice. I think it's quite cool. This workshop can kind of test out your own styles and your own techniques within what I'm doing as well. And you can even just join and do your own work. It's kind of like a social space, so everyone can kind of talk, discuss new art ideas, and just work collectively as well, rather than working, just at home on your own. Just feel quite isolated when you're just working on your own at home. I feel anyway. I don't know about anyone else.
Yeah, I'm the same. That's why I wanted to join, because I just haven't had any motivation to do anything.
I mean, I think, especially like deadlines and everything, so we're all in the same course. It's quite, I guess, hard when you're all working at home, you're all working alone. You haven't got like a meeting point where you can all come together and discuss these things. So I think it's quite, even if you don't do your own work, it's quite a nice release point to discuss and help each other. What kinds of things are you using, Richard? To find a new object?
Like using a ruler.
Really well.
Kind of a different colour.
Oh, I like that at the bottom. I like the kind of effect.
Yeah.
Worked really well last week as well. I'm gonna try and layer some more colours on fluffy. A build on, you know, you can kind of layer it and develop it and you can want as well. I think that's what makes it. On the joy, it's just quite nice. For the kind of online thing to do. I'm using on the palette, so it's really, really quick. Don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. On the side. Collage photographs as well, so maybe think about other surfaces that you can use to create your boxes or objects away. Maybe think about also think about the scale of all the pieces. Now I'm working on A1 cards at the moment, and I've got a lot of A2 card as well. But think about maybe how large you can go within the space that you're working in, and then how small you can make the box. So again, setting different constraints in the way to get things as well. But again, it depends how experimental you want to do with the it's quite good as well because anyone can really do it, and all these marks are really improvised and it's very hard to get that that same effect again in the exact kind of order and everything. So again, that's quite a nice thing to do. Is my audio okay for you, Angel?
What did you say?
My audio okay for you? Is it coming through okay?
I couldn't hear what you said, sorry.
Is my audio coming through?
It's coming like here and there.
Or it might be, I don't know, it might be just a computer or something else. I'll try and get it sorted out for next week.
All right.
What kinds of things are you working on at the moment then? Either in this workshop or your own?
Well, I haven't really done any like painting in ages because I've just been making paper from like recycled work. So I kind of wanted to just do something a bit different, you know, try something different.
Is that focused on the art gallery project as well?
Yeah, it's all kind of connected because luckily they were all kind of similar things. Like it was obviously about the natural encounters, so it was kind of already in my theme. So luckily I've just kind of carried on with that. But yeah, I kind of wanted to just do something else for a bit because I haven't done any like practical stuff in ages.
It's quite a nice way to, I guess, release and de-stress in a way, even if it's not something that you usually do. Just get your head into that kind of idea of working practically and I guess getting away from, you know, doing loads of writing or whatever. It's quite nice to do.
Sorry, I'm gonna have to leave now. Is that all right?
Bye, Rochelle.
Bye.
All these workshops I'm doing as well are recorded, so I'll be uploading them onto my web. So anyone can really view them and watch them and everything, but I have been looking at the idea of working in a live space, you know, a live workshop, versus what it means to do like a film or a video after it's happened as well. That's something that myself and Liz were discussing a lot last week as well. What kinds of things do you present here at the moment?
I missed that.
What sorts of materials are you working with at the moment?
Materials, did you ask?
Other objects or anything, yeah?
No, sorry, I've still not got it. What sort of
Materials or objects?
materials and objects? Yes, right. So I've got my sieve. I got my sieve back out from last week. I'm loving the sieve, and I've brought the thing that I presume is a whisk of some sort because I really enjoyed the marks that made last week. But I've got quite a lot of reds and yellows and a mixture of acrylics and inks. Do you know what I'd really like is I'd like some powder paint just to kind of just toss on, but I don't have that to hand, so I'm just going to work with what I've got, which is part of the process, isn't it? Work with what's in front of you. And I've used this, which is from the I've taken a blank on it, the stuff that you put in your washing, power, the pink power stuff thing, shout, no, not shout, vanish, that's what it's called, from the vanish. And that makes some nice marks because it makes like kind of circles, but this kind of extended bit drew like an arm with it as well, so I quite like that.
Okay.
Nice one.
New from last year. So it's decided workshop, what sorts of
What do you say?
so what do you use to work with besides workshop? In your usual like creative practice, what sorts of
What do I usually do? Yeah, I've just been recycling my old work and just making new paper with it, like with a paper making process. And that's all I've been doing for like pretty much the whole of level 5 so far, to be honest. Trying to do some like video work with it and stuff like that.
Are you guys getting back into your colleges and unis yet?
we haven't at the moment. We're just working online up until like the middle of March, which will then and then we've got a month off until like, middle of April, and then that's when we should be going back. But again, we haven't really been told much at the moment.
It must be so difficult.
I think Kim said something the other day about there being some kind of timetable when we can go in and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like, so, you know, before how we had like level 4 could go in for 1 week and then level 5. So I wonder if it'll be like that again. I'm not sure.
I hope we can go in, you know, at least before summer. Otherwise, we'll feel like we've had the whole of level 5 going online. It feels like
Yeah.
even though we're still doing the work, I just feel like we've missed a lot because we haven't had that same.
Hmm. I wish I had some chalks as well. I think I'll need to do a internet shop.
I've got a lot of chalks as well that I've been using. For me at the moment, I am focused a lot on using the paints and everything, but I do think I need to expand and use some more material. I just always seem to go to the paint. I don't know what the reason for that is. I like how the colours kind of blend together, you know, when you work and when you layer the colours just blend together, and you know, such changing and evolving over time, which is something that I have also been looking at.
Okay, I know what I'm going to do. Okay, I've got some wire wool, and I've got a foamy bottle washy thing going in.
Especially the wire wool as well. I like this effect as well. I've used for it some of these pastry cooking. You've got a motion, and as you can see, they've all kind of blended into one, and you can see the different lines as well. Just by doing this kind of motion as well, as I've been moving the paint across the surface.
Oh, wire wool's good.
How's the wire wool going then, Fiona?
Yeah, great. I love the way it kind of circularized things. I don't know if it's going to show terribly well, but the kind of yeah, because I'd kind of put it on and then just twisted things, and it kind of made some of the colors all kind of blend in. I'm really chuffed with this. I think I need to stop. I think I need to start another one. Okay. Do you ever start with a different colour paper, Holly?
I don't start with a different colour. That's definitely something that I could. Usually I either go for a blank kind of white piece of card, or I'll go for something like or something like this. So it's cardboard from delivery packets. So how about you?
Yeah, sometimes I quite like to work from a collage base and just kind of put on that, just different maybe textures underneath. But I do like working on cardboard. I really like working on recycled cardboard. I'm working on a box thing at the moment. That I think it's like a little box that kind of I picked up at the wee grocers that I volunteer at, and I pulled it all apart. It's like so. Almost put that together. I pulled it all apart and painted the whole thing black, and then I've kind of just done some random marks on it. So I was just, that's just my little bit of recycling, upcycling nonsense. And it's a box that I'm going to give to my friend Jenny, whose birthday it is. I'm hoping that some duck eggs will fit in there. She likes duck eggs.
If you're working on like a large piece, then maybe get something like a smaller kind of circle, and then you try some different printing techniques as well. That could work really well. I always try to keep it open, defining, what it is. Looking a lot and it just kind of makes me think about all the different categories and a practice to kind of fall into as well. So the idea of learning new skills, working with people, and everything. work quite well as well. So like the flaps off the side of a cereal packet, that could work quite well. Yeah.
I think
Mhm.
All be okay. I'm not sure.
What did you say?
Kind of materials you both using. I wasn't sure if it was working, that's all.
I'm just using a lot of circular things. You know, like tin cans and lids like this. But I've tried to like use the mono printing and then did the things in that. Like tried to make the buttons in there, if that makes sense.
So that recipe I worked out, just converted it from a pound because it doesn't say what size. So the bread recipe.
Right.
So we can check another one. There's the same amount of flour, rye bread one in the book. It's different rye bread, the same amount of flour, and it's 680 grams, so yeah, 700 gram program.
Okay. 700. Which is a small one.
Ah, the small one.
Yeah, that's what I would expect.
Yeah, yeah. I was just checking because I had no, it didn't say anything. It just said, that's small bag. So I found one in the book, the bread making machine book, that was the same rye bread, similar rye bread and how many cups it had. And the big one had like 5 cups and the small one had 3, and that was 3 cups.
Right, okay, so it's a 750 setting.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. I've started a new piece on a roll of paper, which is, again is a bit of a recycled, but I think I'm going to have to work on it little pieces at a time because it's quite long. And I'm going to try and make it all kind of circular things. And I really, really want to use that. Yeah.
Some of my pieces I'm using like a tennis ball, so a few marks, you know, just by gently kind of rolling it across the surface as well. It seems to work really well actually. Just transfer different colours.
Good idea.
What I've found is when I'm working on, say, smaller pieces of paper with larger pieces behind, some of the marks that are created on the other pieces that you're not working on are really accidental, really improvised, and I think that's quite interesting as well. Creating marks on different pages without knowing. Another thing to think about possibly.
So if you've put smaller pieces of paper on bigger pieces of paper and then working over it.
Yeah, so I've got some A1 card behind and I've got some A2 on top. And then I've just been using some smaller pieces just to do some printing as well. So say if you're working on like a big piece and you finished it or you're creating different layers, it's quite nice to possibly put a small piece on top and then maybe rotate it and change the angles as well. It's quite a good way to
Kind of create spaces.
yeah, definitely.
I think I'm going to go, Holly. I want to make a collage of all the things I've done, but I'm going to wait for them to dry and then I'm going to like stick them back together. So yeah.
And would you be able to photograph?
Yeah, I can do that.
That's great. Thank you very much for joining me as well. So we'll
Thank
live every Wednesday from 11 o'clock, same link and everything. So if you want
All right. Thank you.
Bye. Bye. So when you say you're recording this, Holly, what are you planning on doing with the recording?
I'm just kind of saving it and using it as documentation for my practical work. So I've just got loads of different films from different workshops and I can kind of look back on it and it's kind of like, I guess, a learning record for myself as well to look at different things that we've all been doing and everything. So yeah, at the moment I've just got a whole folder of different things as well. And if anyone else wants to think you're not able to join the session, then I'll then let them have the recording and have a look at what we're doing.
Nice one.
Right. Well,
And are you finding some of your classmates are joining you as well? Some of the conversation seems to be, yeah.
Yeah, over like the course of a few weeks, I'm hoping that we'll have maybe a few more people joining. But yeah, I seem to see an overlap between my uni friends joining in and then say people from different community groups, for instance, Amanda and Faye, who take part in my Friday workshops. Yeah, I've definitely seen an overlap in terms of the audience and who's watching the workshops for sure. I think it's quite interesting as well to see kind of what it means to view something as a live workshop and then what it means to view something as a pre-recorded or a recorded thing. So the event's already kind of happened. And the audience and artist relationship between the two as well. I do think that is quite interesting as well. And I guess the way we view things online as well, that's another thing that I have been looking at as well. So using, Zoom as a space to create it together and creating the illusion of us all being together. Connected using different technologies and platforms as well. I do think that's quite interesting, but also beneficial, especially for certain community groups during lockdown as well. I think having that connection is really important, and I've found a lot of people starting to do these online workshops and online events, and I think that will hopefully carry on when it ends and things gradually get back to normal. I do think that will still continue as a thing. I think people quite enjoy being able to access things online, especially gallery exhibitions. You don't have to go to the gallery to view the work. You can view it from really any space as well. So I think it's making things more accessible to people as well, which I guess it's really interesting. I think in terms of art and viewing art and everything.
Yeah, I think you're right that some of the online spaces that have been created during lockdown will continue. I do think that they will continue. I will be glad to get back to art galleries, though, got to be honest.
Oh, yeah. No, I think you miss the experience of being able to go out, go to a different space, and take in the experience of being in that space and viewing those artworks. I think
Yeah.
it's a different experience online, and I mean, I do prefer to be in galleries rather than viewing them online. You know, some galleries have got these 3D gallery views where, you know, you can create the idea of being able to walk and navigate yourself around the area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate the effort that curators have put in, for sure. Yeah, I think people have been really, really clever. And walking around Edinburgh, we're very fortunate. We've got a lot of private art galleries that have their own windows, and most of them have done an absolutely brilliant job of turning the artwork round so that every time you pass, you're seeing a different piece of artwork.
Oh, brilliant. So
which is just, you know, we've got a street in Edinburgh called Dundas Street, and it has, oh, I don't know, off the top of my head, I'm thinking 2, 4, maybe 8 private galleries on this one street, with obviously like with what, you know, window fronts. And pretty much every week you go down, you know, they've kind of changed their windows so that you're kind of looking at the piece of art. And I think some artwork just benefits from you seeing the scale of it, you know, and seeing the colors in real time.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think it's slightly different viewing it online as well. Yeah, like you said, you haven't got the scale, you can't really, to an extent, appreciate the detail because you're just viewing it through a screen, and then everyone's screen will be different depending on, you know, the computer or whatever you're viewing it on. Everyone's quality is slightly different as well, so you can't really see it, you know, visually with, you know, the human eye. You can't really see those textures as well, especially for the more abstract pieces. You can't view it the same as going to a gallery space and seeing the work and everything, I don't think.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I'm looking forward to the galleries reopening.
Yes, yeah, definitely. Hopefully it won't be too long now as well. I mean, fingers crossed anyway.
I hope so.
Like for myself, what I've decided to do, because obviously I'm creating this into more of a mail art kind of project. So we're creating things in a virtual space, you know, like we're doing now. And, you know, I can see all created, you know, on a horizontal kind of page. And then you've got the option to send things into myself, and I'm creating more like I don't know, like a gallery kind of wall, and I'm hoping to develop this and move it into different spaces, maybe as like an image installation or something, as hopefully as we begin to get out of lockdown. I'm planning on doing something like that in the studio, and maybe create more of a portable gallery as well, because I have found myself a story working, you know, large folds and everything. So it's just kind of got me thinking about how we access art, and do we have to be in a gallery to view certain thing, or do we have to be in a gallery to view this work?
Yeah.
Well,
one of my friends is a photographer, an amateur photographer, but he really shouldn't be amateur at all. He's got a very, very keen eye, and he has been sending me kind of series of when he's been out walking in Glasgow. He lives in Glasgow, which is a very beautiful, diverse city. And he only takes pictures of things. He doesn't do any kind of people work. He doesn't do any kind of portraiture work. But because we've been online, like, so occasionally he would say to me, we don't meet up very often, but he would maybe once in a blue moon send me are photographs that he's pretty pleased with. Whereas through lockdown, he's just been sending me like dozens at a time, and it's really nice to kind of see the way his eye goes when he's walking around Glasgow, and what sort of things he's drawn to. And of course, every now and again, there's an absolutely stunning photograph. But because you're seeing it in context with the other materials that, you know, that's drawn in there, it just, the whole picture just makes much more sense.
Yeah.
So yes, sometimes it is about witnessing it in that kind of context, and there are other ways of viewing.
I think it's definitely got people thinking differently about how you can create art, and I guess adapting to the idea of working in different spaces as well.
I don't know what my sound is like, but can you hear in the background?
Yes.
American voices.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my husband works. We've got bedrooms opposite each other, well, rooms opposite each other. There used to be bedrooms when our kids lived here, but this is my messy space now, and it's his office. And he's just ran out of the room. Don't know what, he's probably gone to make himself a cup of coffee. He's left the door open, and obviously the Zoom that's happening in the other room, I can hear, and you can hear too. Yeah. Yeah, that sounded like a coffee run.
I think everyone obviously spent a lot more time online as well. So, you know, I wouldn't really have thought about doing these kind of workshops on Zoom as frequently if it hadn't have been for lockdown. I think I would try to find a space and possibly do them in person with, you know, different groups and everything. Yeah, I think it's definitely been strange, but it's quite interesting to learn how you can adapt to different things as well. So the idea, even though we're all at home, we can still find new ways to create art.
Yeah, and for some people, it's actually a little bit more accessible. Right, I'm wiping my screen. I've got gold slag all over it, which isn't dreadful, but I should really not bother. Yeah, I think for some people it has been a bit more accessible. Yeah. And do you know what I've absolutely loved, Holly, is I go to one on a Monday afternoon called Be Creative. Anyway, it's run by a lovely lady, Reverend Jen Hutchins, and it's just a little bit spiritual, but you know, it's okay. It's nothing that scares me too much. But everybody there's like from America, so I'm just kind of sitting in this group of lovely ladies, you know, all from different parts of America, and I would never have done that if it hadn't been for lockdown. Never would have reached out to that community. Never would have found myself accidentally there.
No, I think it's definitely got everyone experimenting with different things and trying out new ways of working, new materials to use and everything. Yeah, I know there's life drawing classes going on online on different groups and everything. So I have been thinking about maybe having a look at some sort of photography class as well, possibly. So I think it is quite good to experiment and do something that you're not used to doing, or maybe if you've been focusing on one thing for too long, having a break and trying something new. Yeah, for sure. I mean,
And I think too, there's just been a kind of a wee bit opening up. So I'll give you a wee honesty hit. When I looked at your Eventbrite picture and your explanations, and I could see that you were, you know, doing big pieces of work using your whole body, and I was like, oh well, that's very nice, but that's for the young ones, really, isn't it? And I was like, and I couldn't do that kind of big sized work anyway, and I haven't got the space and the resources. But I kind of came online just to have a wee look anyway. Do you know what I mean? Just out of curiosity. And Holly, I'm so glad that I'm here. This has been an absolute rise every week. I've, you know, got myself covered, and I've loved the pieces that you've kind of drawn out of me, as it were. Let me see that bit. Let me see that one.
Here we are. So this is my very messy one, but I do quite like the way that I've pushed the ball around the surface as well. So
yeah, I like the way that the ball has given it a kind of a framework almost, hasn't it? The ball rolling.
I always find myself as well trying to cover what I would assume the center of the piece and try not to leave too much white space. And that is my trouble, I think, with these kind of works. I always have to fill the page. I've just got to fill it in any way that I see fit. I've got to say,
yes, I'm a bit of a page filler. I've got to say. Oddly enough, not in other mediums, but definitely when I'm doing this. Right, I'm going to show you this wee piece, and then I think I might also head. I've got some bread to make. So.
Oh wow! Oh, I love that. I love the colours that you've used on that. So,
yeah, just the purples and the pinks and the blues, and some of that was with my trusty whatever thing that is, and some of it I used this lid, and I made circles with it, but I also used the outside of it as well, which made some really nice track marks actually. I'm gonna keep that. Yeah.
Thinking about different objects that you can use as well, and I think that's quite nice.
Yeah, and this is the object that I found that I was quite excited about using, but in fact it hasn't been as useful as I thought it was going to be honest with you. I'll keep a hold of it because it might find itself somewhere else.
Would you be able to send me some photographs on email or something of the pieces that you...
I will. I'll get round to actually sending you some. This piece is I don't know if you can see, like a whole rolled up piece of paper.
Yeah.
And I'm planning on, once this bit that I worked on is dry, pull it up and then work on it like a papyrus. Is that the right word? You know, the Egyptians used to roll things up. So I'm going to do that, and hopefully each time I go to it, I'm going to bring different objects and make different marks, so it'll kind of change as it's going along.
Probably a continuous experimental kind of piece.
Yeah, I need to be careful because it's very thin paper, but I think it's going to work. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for your company, and so much for your ideas and sharing.
Hopefully I'll see you next week.
Hopefully see you next week.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much. See you later.
Take care. Bye.